Hey guys, what's up? It's Lindsay with InsaneHomeFatLoss.com. Today I want to address some recent comments I've been seeing from some Insane Home Fat Loss viewers about how they can prevent from mindlessly snacking. I hear a lot of you guys out there saying when you're getting at home, you're snacking and how can you fix it? How do I stop this? What is this? First, I want to let you know that I completely understand where you're coming from and I hear you loud and clear. So today I'm going to explain to you why this is happening, what are the triggers that cause me to just snack randomly, and we're going to go over how can we fix it. The number one cause of us snacking mindlessly is pretty easy and it's a big one. But first I want to tell you a story, that way you can relate better. I had this friend walk up to me the other day and she's been staying really on track with all of her eating. She's getting ready to fit into a wedding dress, get married, and she's pretty stoked about it. She told me that, she's like, man, I lost it on Sunday. I got into this huge fight with my ex-husband. Before that, everything was going pretty good for the day. I was staying on track. But after we had this fight, I just lost it. She's like, I had some wine, I ate whatever I wanted. It just went downhill from there for the rest of her Sunday. Then she asked me, why does this happen? Why is it that when I get so upset that I just eat whatever? How can I prevent this? Well, the answer is simple. Stress, it depletes our glucose levels. So what she went through after the argument was she got all stressed out, like we all always do in any natural situation of a fight or whatever's coming up in your life. And then the stress eats into you, attacks you, and it depletes out the glucose. This leads to bad decisions because glucose is the fuel that our brain needs to make wise decisions. Meaning when you be wigging out, you have less mental mojo to keep your body stabilized and make the right choice. Stress just jacks up our bodies in general. It's the number one fat loss prevention. So it's simple. If you aren't in Zen mode, you aren't losing any fat. The number one way to stay strong is to channel everything you have to not stress. This is really pretty hard for me myself because I feel like I'm always running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm late to everything. I feel like I need 5 hands to do any task because I'm always trying to juggle so many things in my hands at one time. I'm always running all over the place. I feel like I constantly could fall into that crack of major stress. And if I were doing that, then I wouldn't have some nice shredded abs. So I found key ways to channel my stress so that I can keep these nice shredded abs that you're seeing. Here's some ways that I managed to cut that stress out of my life and that you can also cut it out of yours. The first way is that I no longer overcommit myself. I found out that I always trying to please everyone and say yes to everything. So now, before I ever commit to saying yes to anything, I say, let me think about that and I'll get back to you. The second important way for me to avoid stress was that I needed to cut chaos out. I was noticing that I was getting too stressed out when all these things were popping up. Maybe I was busy at work, there were people tracking into my office, so I had to find a way to get rid of that chaos. So when I'm at work and I've got too much going on and I know I've got to get my work done, I shut my office doors. So that's pretty simple for you. Just cut the chaos out of your life, whatever may be going on, and just remove yourself from it. Take a step back, close yourself off. I'm not saying you need to be antisocial for the rest of the day, but just do what's important to you to get rid of the chaos that's going on around you. The last great thing that I found in order to cut back on my stress is that I started doing some yoga. Whether you find a video or I've got a stretching video on Insane Home Fat Loss that you can even use as yoga, whatever it may be, doing yoga just creates this overall healthy state in us and it just calms us down. It gives me an overall zen, and I don't want to get all hippie-esque or whatever on you, but it truly does make me feel like a better person whenever I'm able to just detox, do some yoga, and get back to finding me. So there you have it. One of the biggest causes in us mindlessly snacking and getting the big waistlines is that we're stressed out. So eliminate that stress by following my advice. The next major thing that I found that is preventing us from losing weight and snacking mindlessly or doing whatever is that we're not getting enough sleep. This is most important to your body. If you're totally exhausted from skimping on the Z's, then think of it this way. When you're not getting enough sleep, it actually taxes the side of the brain that helps make you wise decisions about say what goes in our mouth. It's actually going to damper down your mental state because you can't think the way you need to think in order to make the wise decisions about what's going in your mouth. the next time you think about skimping out on that sleep in order to go out with your friends or maybe get a little extra something done, think of it this way. Those people who got an average of about 4 hours of sleep versus those people who got an average of, say, 8 hours of sleep actually have been shown per studies to wolf down 500 calories more. So the next time you're going out with your friends or doing whatever extra project, instead of sleeping, chances are you're gonna eat 500 more calories the next day. I think it's pretty simple. In order to avoid the extra 500 calories each day or whatever you're intaking because you're not making the right choices, just sleep. It's gonna be easier on you and you're gonna be a lot easier to deal with. Our third binge trigger to mindless snacking is that you've resisted temptation all day. It doesn't matter if it's a cupcake or a new pair of shoes or whatever you decided to pass up on. Each time you resist temptation, your willpower actually weakens just a little, and then you're less likely to make the best choice when you come up to a new crossroads of another decision you need to avoid. Think of it as a superhero who has healing powers, but each time they heal somebody, they hurt themselves just a little. Well, that's you, your willpower, in making the right choices and resisting out on temptation. So, how do we stay strong when we're getting weaker? We make a plan. Self-control is at its peak the first time you use it, and then it tends to deplete as the decision-making process goes on because our brain power becomes more drained. So, in the morning, I want you to think of exciting times that you're gonna have for the day. For example, say you know you're going to go to happy hour. So in the morning, I want you to come up with a plan. All right, I'm going to happy hour tonight, but instead of having this super high sugary cocktail that's about 600 calories, I'm gonna cut back and I'm gonna commit myself to having a glass of wine that I know is only about 150 calories instead. Once your mind is always made up, it's gonna be much easier to stick to your guns throughout the day and keep those decisions solid. Then, over time, this is actually gonna train your body to become stronger. At the end of the day, what do we have? Going back to our superhero who was weakening each time that they healed somebody. Now, every time they heal somebody, they're gonna know how to heal themselves. Our last binge trigger to mindless snacking is being stingy. Well, studies are actually showing that those of us who decided to donate just $1 to a good cause actually held a consistent weight with willpower 20% more than those who decided to keep their dollar. It's a pretty weird connection, I'll admit, but the fact is that donating money or any act of kindness can actually make us feel better and strengthen our food resolution. I'm not saying to give up your bank account. I'm just saying to give a little when you can and you'll feel better. There you have it. It's not as simple as you just screwing up and dashing to a Twinkie. Think about why you dashed to the Twinkie. Eliminate stress, sleep enough, prepare yourself for temptation, and give a little act of kindness. However, to create a bulletproof plan, eliminate snacks from your house. Get the Twinkies out. If they're there, then the chances are you will likely cave and eat them, so get them out. Instead, you can replace them with good snacks like veggies or even pistachios, which we talked about in a previous monologue, that actually help your glucose level when you're stressed out. Happy eating! For more awesome nutrition tips and insane workouts, please visit me again on insanehomefatloss.com. Thanks, guys.